What's happening, everyone? My name is Kyle. Welcome to my channel. There's a lot of people making the move to Red Deer in the central Alberta area right now, but a lot of people also make a lot of mistakes and have a lot of misconceptions here. So in this video, we're going to break all of it down so that hopefully you don't make those same mistakes. Let's do it. All right, let's talk about mistake number one. This is more of a misconception that people have, and that's having a really unrealistic expectation of what the real estate market is like out here. I've had people tell me that back in Ontario, wherever it is, they've had their mortgage broker tell them that homes will sell for at least 10% under asking price, and that's absolutely not true. There is no expectation that you have when it comes to homes moving off of asking price.
They lie. It's too good to be true.
The real estate market out here is still extremely competitive. We are just over 2 months of supply, which means it's a seller's market. Anything under 2.5 months is a seller's market, so the sellers still have an advantage. Even though interest rates have been rising and you've seen a lot of buyers hesitate and pause to see what's going to happen, the inventory is still really low. And if a home shows well and it's priced right, that home is going to sell super quick. I listed a home not too long ago. I think I had an accepted offer within 3 hours of listing it. I didn't even get my video up on my YouTube channel. That's how fast things are going here.
What? Are you serious?
You need to have a realistic expectation. Now, most of the time, if it's just you writing an offer on a home, you can expect to pay under asking price. But again, if that home shows well, it's priced well, that seller might not come down much off the price at all. And if you're going into multiple offer situations, which is happening a lot still, we've gone into a lot of multiple offers lately, you're gonna pay asking price or above. So I know everyone is moving here because the cost of living is so cheap and the affordability of homes is so much more affordable than places like Ontario and British Columbia. But it's not a free-for-all out here. You can't just come in and expect to write all these lowball offers and expect that the seller is going to accept those. If you have a budget of $400,000 and you're going to look at homes that are at $450,000 or $430,000, you are wasting your time and you're wasting everyone else's time. So it is super important to make sure that even though, yes, the affordability and the cost of living here is amazing, you have to have a realistic expectation of what it's like out here. And just as a reminder, guys, I am a licensed realtor in the area. So if you do like these videos or you feel like you're jiving with me, you can use this information popping on the screen right now. Get a hold of me any way you like. Would love to hear from you. All right, let's get back to the video. Let's move on to mistake number two. And I think it is super important that you have to be flexible in your job search. I read about a lot of people who have made that move to Alberta and they've had it difficult finding a job for a couple months and they decided to go back to wherever it is that they came from.
Hey, I'm still having a hard time finding a job.
Now, maybe you have a degree in something and you've done that job for the last 15 years, but maybe that industry out in Alberta, it's just not busy, or maybe you're not living in the right area for it. For example, if you're in the IT and tech industry, and not saying that these jobs don't exist in the mid-sized cities like Red Deer and Lethbridge, of course they do, but you might have a better or a bigger opportunity finding a job in that industry in Edmonton or Calgary. So don't make that mistake of not being flexible in your job search. I know that if you've done something for a long time, that's probably what you want to do, and I get it. But remember, you're moving to the Red Deer area in Alberta for a specific reason. You wanted to have a cheaper cost of living. You wanted to be able to own a home. You wanted your kids to own a home. There's political reasons. There's many reasons why people are making that move. So if you have made that move out here and maybe you're having a hard time finding a job, you're starting to get a little bit discouraged, open yourself up to the opportunity of looking in different fields. The economy in Alberta right now is absolutely crazy busy. It may not be busy in a certain specific field that you want to look in, but if you're willing to open yourself up to other opportunities, the oil and gas industry is absolutely crazy right now. They're having a really tough time finding skilled workers to fill their positions. Construction, trades, super busy. And in Red Deer, the healthcare industry is a massive industry, especially if the $2 billion expansion actually goes through and they start to work on that here sooner than later. The Red Deer Airport is undergoing a $30 million expansion, which is creating a ton of jobs. And of course, we're in Alberta, we have a lot of agriculture here. So don't get discouraged. Remember, you moved here for a reason. You might just have to open yourself up to other opportunities. Make this work out for yourself.
Don't worry, jobs shouldn't be hard to find around here.
All right, let's talk about mistake number 3, and let's discuss people using third-party websites. Now, I just kind of want to touch on this one briefly. When you are looking for a home, most people are going to go to Realtor.ca. That is the biggest and most popular site in Canada, and tons of people look for homes on there. Now, the problem with looking on this site is that it is not accurate information. It's not updated as quickly as it should be. So you could be looking at homes that have already sold or they're already under contract. What you want to do is you want to reach out to a realtor and you want to get set up on the multiple listing service, or the MLS as they call it, for the area that you want to move to if you're moving to Red Deer. And this is where the information is absolutely 100% accurate. This is where all the realtors put their listings. It's updated in real time and you're going to get real-time information. So reach out to your realtor. They're going to set you up on an automatic email. This is kind of like an automatic drip campaign. Whatever the search criteria that you give to your realtor, your budget, all the things that you would like to see in a home, the area that you want to live in, it's automatically going to send you homes that are in that search criteria. So you don't have to go searching for them. It's just automatically going to send it to you. So reach out. Realtor.ca is a good way to kind of get an idea of what the market is like. But if you want accurate, up-to-date, real-time information, you want to get set up on the multiple listing service for the area. All right, let's get into the next one. And this one is a huge mistake that I see people making all of the time. And that's not doing enough research on the neighborhoods. People get so caught up in just looking at the home itself. And this is a huge mistake. They're looking at the price, they're looking at that beautiful kitchen, and they're buying just based on the home, which is absolutely not what you should do.
I live in a van down by the river.
Now, Red Deer is just like any other city. We have our really good neighborhoods, we have our not so great neighborhoods, we have some middle of the road ones. So it's really important to ask yourself what you are looking for. Do you care what the demographic is? Do you care that it's a little bit older? Or do you care that there's a lot more young families in this area? A lot of neighborhoods have different pros and cons, and even some of the good ones. So as an example, Westlake, one of my favorite neighborhoods within the city, although there's 2 fairly big cons within the neighborhood. You're close to Highway 2, so there's always going to be that slight hum of traffic noise. And if you're really close, it's going to be really loud and noisy. And then in that area, there's also some shitty cell service, which could be a major con to some people.
What number did you call?
249er.
Did I catch a 9er in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it's cordless.
Are you looking to live in more walkable neighborhoods? Do you want to be closer to shopping? If you are looking for walkability and potentially working in the area, I would consider maybe moving to the Bauer neighborhood or up in the northeastern section of the south end in the Clearview Timberstone area. Now, some of the newer neighborhoods can still have some decent walking trails, such as Vanier East and Laredo. Along that area, there's some really good paved walking trails. So in that area, it's a lot of younger families. It's really, really, really important never to buy just based on the home. This is when people absolutely experience buyer's remorse. They've seen the home, they've seen the pictures, they love it. They didn't do enough research into the neighborhoods and they bought in an area that they don't want to be in. So don't make that mistake. Make sure you are researching the neighborhoods before you buy a home. All right, moving right along, let's get into the next one. And the next biggest mistake, and this one is super important. I know it's kind of easy to overlook, but you have to get pre-qualified. I've seen this happen quite a few times where people have sold their home in whatever province that they're coming from, and they've made that move to Red Deer, the central Alberta area, and they think that, I'm not going to have any problem getting approved for a mortgage because 1, I've already had a mortgage, 2, I have a really big down payment, but there's a lot of other factors that can come into play here. For example, if you don't have a job or you're changing careers and you get here, you might have to show employment. You might have to show an employment history before you can get approved. So really, really, really important if you're looking to buy a home that you sit down with a lender or a mortgage broker and you figure out what this looks like for you. Otherwise, you could be stuck renting for a lot longer than you prefer to be. And in my opinion, if you're renting and you have the ability to buy a home, you're just wasting your money. All right, mistake number 6, and that's expecting Red Deer to be busy. Now, a lot of people are moving to this area because they live in a busier area and they're tired of commuting and being stuck in traffic and just the craziness and hustle and bustle. So they're moving to Red Deer for exactly this reason. They love the slower pace. They love the laid back lifestyle, and this is what they want.
Feels good to mingle with these laid back country folk, don't it, Hare?
I like it a lot.
In Red Deer, we don't have any traffic issues. Sometimes after work, there can be certain little traffic circles that might get a little bit more congested, where you're gonna maybe add a minute to your drive time. You can get from one end of the city to the other in 20 minutes. You're never gonna have issues finding parking downtown. Red Deer is just super laid back, super slow pace, just over 100,000 people. But sometimes people get here and they are disappointed by how slow it is here. We don't really have a nightlife in the city anymore. Back 20 years ago when I first moved here, the nightlife in Red Deer was crazy. Everybody used to come here because they wanted to party here. For a while there, we didn't have any nightclubs. Now we're back up to two. So a couple more have opened up. There's one on the north end and a new one on the, I don't even know where it is actually. I don't go to the bar anymore.
Do you know where this club is?
No more clubs. What? Yes.
So our nightlife is pretty crappy here. We don't have a busy downtown center with lots of, shops and bars and restaurants to go to. The ones that are down there are great, and I do really enjoy our downtown. And we don't have this crazy diverse food scene either. A lot of it is franchises, or what do you call that? Not big box stores. Franchises like Earl's, Moxie's, The Keg.
Eating the same deviled egg over and over again.
And in my opinion, those ones do just fine for me. But if you're looking for a diverse food scene, Red Deer is definitely not the place for you. Red Deer is not a busy city, so manage your expectations when you get here. I see a lot of people complain about how they moved here and they find it super boring. Red Deer is boring, depending on what area of life that you're in. I think it's an amazing family city. Lots of young families, lots of stuff to do, but not super busy when it comes to nightlife and food scenes and all that kind of stuff. So I hope this video helps you out, helps you manage expectations, kind of dispel some of the myths around Red Deer. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you're notified every week when a new video comes out. And if you would like any help with the real estate needs, take a screenshot of this info right on the screen, get a hold of me any way you'd like. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.